president and Secretary Kennedy have been pushing the MAHA agenda because it makes it easier for people to do the right thing.
Welcome back. In a week that saw the administration take on fights with the courts, higher education, and the Federal Reserve, it ended with former TV personality Dr. Oz, that was him you just heard, sworn in, administrator of the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services. MAHA is a reference to Make America Healthy Again, something that President Trump and many of his supporters embraced during the campaign. Our political panel is here. I'm happy to say that. Joel Payne, CBS News political contributor, and Democratic strategist Ryan Taylor, new to the desk. Glad to have him here. Republican strategist who previously served as communications director for Senator Roger Wicker, who's currently the chairman of the Armed Services Committee. Great to see you both, gentlemen. So an open-ended question for both of you, and I'll let you go first since you're new to us, Ryan. Yeah. We're nearing 100 days. How, if you were to go talk to your friends who are not political animals, how would you summarize the highs and the lows of the first 100 days for Trump?
I would summarize it by saying we're getting exactly what we voted for. Exactly what we voted for. The president has made promises to secure the border. He's done that. Border apprehensions are down 95% since last March, down to 8,000 for the entire month. That's incredible. The tariffs, the president has been saying the whole time that he's going to hold our allies and adversaries accountable for unfair trade practices, and that's exactly what he's doing. And we're going to see a tremendous amount of legislative accomplishments, I think, toward the end of the summer in terms of lower taxes and budget reconciliation. So I think we're getting exactly what we
You wouldn't necessarily hoist a banner, but I hear you saying mission accomplished.
Oh, no, I'm not going to say that. We got a long way to go. But
you heard him. Mission accomplished. He said it.
There's no banner. Yeah, but yeah.
Joel, so answer the same question. Highs and lows, not only for President Trump, but for Democrats.
Well, we've gotten to be a little friendly here, so I don't want to be rude to our friend here, but I would disagree a bit. Donald Trump told you he was going to lower your prices, he was going to lower inflation. What he's doing instead is he's renaming bodies of water. He's going after political enemies. He's suing media companies. He's disrupting the world order that was established 80 years ago to keep America and keep our allies safe. So if that's what you think you voted for, yeah, that's what you're getting. But I don't actually think, particularly the people in the middle who are not MAGA, who are not a part of the president's base, that's not what they voted for. And, I think as we approach this 100 days, there's no surprise why Donald Trump has seen his honeymoon go away faster than any president in modern history. He didn't have that big of a honeymoon to begin with. He was just barely at 50%, which most other presidents are well over 60% at this time. That's all gone away. So he's blown up any political capital that he has. And there doesn't seem to be any theory on how to actually kind of hold together a coalition that can be longstanding and durable for Republicans to govern with and potentially try to hold on to power in 2026.
And Ryan, when you look at things like the Department of Government Efficiency federal workforce cuts, I talk about this on the program with some frequency, just to remind people, because there's a sense that every federal worker lives here in the D.C. area. 20% do. 80% live around the country.
Right.
And this is coming up in town hall meetings for Republicans and Democrats. People getting laid off, people losing funding, grants, not to just universities, but to nonprofits that have deep roots in communities all around the country, red and blue. Do you think there's any danger for Republicans, members of Congress, the Senate, or President Trump on this front?
It's always difficult to cut spending. That's why Congresses haven't done it in decades. It's going to take some belt tightening. We've got a $36 trillion debt.
Yeah, but he doesn't want to cut spending.
Yes,
he doesn't know he doesn't. He does not. He exploded the budget. He exploded the budget.
But you work for Roger Wicker, a smart guy in the Senate. You know as well as I do, most of the money doesn't reside where these cuts are coming from.
100%.
It just doesn't.
No, it doesn't. But you also have to start somewhere. I use the analogy all the time of a time when we were voting on ANWR. Do you all recall this? Mm-hmm. When we were going to drill in Alaska, and they told us it was going to take
refuge,
they told us it was going to take 10 to 15 years to get it. We'd be having that oil right now had we just gone ahead and done it.
Yeah, but there's a reason why most presidents and most governing bodies don't move fast, and the reason is because you do things like cut off funding for the life-saving cancer research. You cut off funding for Ebola prevention. You cut off funding to prevent pandemics. That's the type of stuff that happens when you move fast. And that, by the way, that's not what the American people voted for. They voted for common sense and cheaper eggs, and that's not what they're getting.
They got cheaper eggs, and
slightly. They're still expensive.
Sure,
they're slightly
they're
cheaper.
better than they were, and the global
$9 to $7.
And the global chaos of the Biden administration with Russia invading Ukraine and so forth, that's also starting to slow down. But I will say, government moves slow. So we have one opportunity as Republicans to make a lasting change to government and fundamentally change the trajectory. And that's what President Trump was elected to do, and that's exactly what he's doing.
To your point, again, I ask lots of Republican strategists who sit at this table this question. It's August and September of 2026, leaning into October.
Yeah.
Who's talking more about DOGE, Republicans or Democrats?
Probably.
And tariffs.
Probably Democrats.
Doggone right.
Okay.
They're going to.
Are Republicans running from both?
They're not. They're not going to, because I disagree with my friend here, because I think the president's coalition is actually quite strong. What we've been able to accomplish with a slim majority in the House is nothing but incredible.
It's impressive. There's no question
They
about it.
haven't done anything in the House. What have you done in the House?
Look, they got the budget resolution done, and they got the continuing resolution through. And it wasn't clear they were going to do either one of
Are
those.
you going to stand behind that? So do you think that Richard Hudson, the chair of the Republican campaign committee, are they going to run on that? Are they going to run on those cuts and the DOGE cuts and the destruction of government?
Yes.
I'd love for them to do that, and I'd take that bet.
The federal government, and I will take the bet that if the hill that y'all want to die on is the gentleman down in El Salvador, I will help you plant the flag on that too. So
I care about your due process just like I care about his.
I do too, and he got his.
As if he were a veteran of this table. Ryan Taylor, good to have you here. Joel Payne, always a pleasure. Thanks very much to you both.